Hi, this is Dan Bullard, retired electronics engineer, sitting out on the front deck of my houseboat again. It's July 10th. It ain't warm enough to go swimming today, I'll tell you that. Global warming, it's all good, you know. Hey, the fish jump back here. Okay, I got a couple things I want to talk to you about. One is, this beautiful view here, I contrast that with another guy that I look at occasionally on YouTube, Dr. Turley, and he used to take video inside of his studio. He uses a background now where he's sitting on his back deck looking out at his neighbor's houses. So that's a little better than his, And he's a doctor, he's a PhD, and I like him a lot. Don't get me wrong, I like him a lot. Okay, I had a discussion with my buddy Skip, who I haven't talked to in like 10 years. But Skip's the guy that I got hired at Applicos. I got him hired as the office manager, and he was supposed to be doing sales in the U.S. for Applicos. He failed miserably because he cannot understand mixed signal. And there's a lot of people like that. He has a degree from Fresno State, I think, and he was attracted to me because he knew the name Bullard, because in Fresno there's a thoroughfare called Bullard. So he was attracted to me because of my name. But I got him the job, and then in the end, he gave me the notice that I was going to be fired. And I finally found out why I was fired, because I was defending this guy, William Shockley. What happened was, Applicos, or their customers, I don't know who, tracked me down on Facebook, and I was defending William Shockley. Shockley is the guy who invented the transistor. If you're watching this on anything other than a CRT, so if you're watching this on a phone or on a computer, you're looking at about 3 million transistors right there. Boom. Those were invented by William Shockley. Okay? Shockley was a genius. He had an IQ of about the same as me, about 135. Shockley was a genius. He said he got his intelligence from his mother. His mother was the first female surveyor general of the United States. So that'll tell you something. And she had Shockley, I think, when she was in her 30s. So I think he was an only child. But Shockley, brilliant guy. Brilliant guy. But everybody hates him because they said he's a racist. He said, no, I'm not a racist. I'm just saying that there's too many people who have low IQs who are breeding. And this is true. More people with low IQs have more children than people with higher IQs. I have 3 kids, but Shockley knew this guy from this news article, this child of one of 17 brothers and sisters born to this black woman who was on welfare at the time, and she was very, very stupid, and this one kid was paid to throw acid at somebody, and he's very, very low IQ. So this very low IQ woman had 17 kids. I had 3 kids. Okay, that's pretty good. His thing was dysgenics and too many stupid people having too many children. And that's true, absolutely true. And Shockley was concerned about that. That's all that Shockley said. But he's a racist. I was defending him, and that got me in trouble at Applicos, and Applicos decided I should be fired for that. So my buddy Skip had to fire me, and he never told me why. I just assumed it had to do with Bruce Tibbets saying that Dan Bullard doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about or not. Well, that's probably partly it, but for some reason, hey, there's a nice boat. The weekend is ending, so people are going home. That's kind of nice. And yes, I can see these guys' reflections in my front door and in my windows. So I got fired from Applicos because I was defending William Shockley, the guy who created Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley would have never happened had Shockley not lived in the Bay Area, in the San Jose area. So that's why Silicon Valley is Silicon Valley. And I worked there, I lived there for at least 10 years, and then I worked there on and off. Most electronics businesses work out of Silicon Valley, so all the people I knew worked in Silicon Valley. Everybody down there, I mean, it was the land of geniuses, it really was. And that was all because of Shockley. If it hadn't been for Shockley, there would have been no Silicon Valley. So I was defending Shockley on Facebook, and the Applicos people didn't like that, and so they thought I should be fired. So I guess that's okay, you know. And I talk well of Applicos. They had some good products. Applicos is a more or less a good company, but the guy who fired me, Carr Chapman, he's no longer CEO. He got tired of this, retired, and I guess I have to be happy about the fact that Carr Chapman retired because he didn't like me. That's saying something. So I was fired not just because of Bruce Dibbitt's at Teradyne. I was fired because I was defending Bill Shockley, who was a genius. So I defended a genius. What can I say, you know? And I believe Shockley was right. I believe totally in what Shockley says. So, you know, whatever floats your boat. Okay, another one I want to talk about was Matt Mahoney. One reason I contacted Skip is because I gave him my copy of Matt Mahoney's book, DSP-Based Testing. And Matt Mahoney, he is or was a genius. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but he was a genius. And he's the guy who came up with coherent sampling. And in chapter 1 of his book, he said this, and I can't even say it myself because it chokes me up every time I read it, but here you go. Here's what he said. The computer will tell you.
In a tutorial I gave overseas several years ago, the real cost of using DSP instruments suddenly came clear to one of the engineers midway through the day. He knew only a few words of English, but managed to express his revelation in a way that is all the more expressive for its simplicity. Leaping to his feet with a mixture of excitement and fear, he said, "But this means we must know something. Indeed we must. A DSP machine will do whatever we ask, nothing more. It is as clever or as stupid as we are. If we do not know how to test the device, the DSP machine will not know either. Like a mirror, it reflects our own technical strengths and weaknesses. By something, this engineer meant knowledge far beyond just knowing how to operate the equipment and what was learned in the university. We must also know the physical and mathematical principles underlying each test, the design, behavior and end use of the DUT, and the error sources inherent in the tests and those of the DUT. We must know what the tests are intended to show, and how the customer will use and interpret this information. In short, the real price of DSP testing may well be that it forces us to master the craft of engineering."
So Matt Mahoney said that, and that's totally true. That's why I'm constantly bashing, not always, not the only reason, but that's why I'm constantly bashing people with degrees. If you got a college degree and you think you know everything, you probably don't know nothing. So that's just something to keep in mind, you know. Mahoney was a genius, not quite up there with Shockley, but Mahoney was a genius. Mahoney was wrong on one thing, and you know, if I could have got that book from my old buddy Skip Davis, I could show you where he was wrong, but I can't do that because, you know, he's probably using it as a doorstop. I did give him my address, so maybe he'll mail it to me, maybe not. But you know, it's a $100 book. I'm not buying it. I've already read it, but I can't seem to find a copy anywhere that I can get a snapshot of that page where he made his mistake, but whatever. Anyway, I think that's enough for now. So once again, from the river, this is Dan Bullard. See ya.